So is the housing market really starting to change in northern New Jersey? Up until this point, it's been a lot of anecdotes and stories and news and watching people like me telling you about what we think is happening, but are we starting to see that on paper? So we're going to take a look at some June numbers today in two towns in Union County, Westfield and Scotch Plains, because these are two towns that I think you could extrapolate that message to be applied to any other highly desirable town in northern New Jersey. I'm Justin Braverman from the HBB Realty Group. We're brokered by eXp Realty, and we're going to take a look at some June numbers today to see if the changes are actually starting to occur. So first off, with Westfield, we're going to take a look at three different numbers. First off here is active inventory. We had 78 active listings in Westfield in the month of June. Now what you see here is that this number is way down versus 2021, but remains flat to most of 2022. And this is really the driving factor on why the housing market remains as competitive as it is, even though all of these economic changes are happening. It's supply and demand. As long as inventory remains this low, there's going to be enough buyers there to fuel competition and competitive prices and appreciation. So not much changes with inventory. Home sale price, we don't spend a lot of time on this because this is a lagging indicator. What sold in June, these are homes that went under contract in March or April. So we don't care about what happened then. We only care about what's moving forward. But as you can see, in general, that is an upward trend of appreciation versus 2021. Now, the one piece of data that I think makes the most sense to look at, because it's real time. It shows what changes took place in June. It's a ratio that we call under contract to active listings. What this shows is, of all the active listings that existed in a given month, how many of those were under contract or went under contract. Now, this is a good indicator that shows how quickly homes are how quickly homes are having offers accepted, and it shows, I think you could pull that message out to say how many buyers are out there, how aggressive are their offers, because the more buyers and the more aggressive the offers are, the quicker the homes are going under contract. So when you look back to 2021, we were in Westfield hovering in about the 35% range for most of the year, which is still elevated in the grand scheme of when you look historically. But what is really interesting is what took place in the first half of 2022, where this number ballooned up into the mid-50s range. And that's an enormous number. It just shows how aggressive the market was through most of 2022. Now, what's interesting is in June, that number dropped to 40%. So what we don't yet know was this a blip, and are we going to bounce right back in July? Or are we going to hold there or even decrease that? Because if we decrease that number and that ratio continues to shrink, that's the recipe to building inventory. That's the way that more homes go on the market and buyers have more options, and prices will slowly appreciate versus continuing to go off like a rocket ship. So we're going to take a look back on this and see, was this a blip or was it an indicator of where we're going? So Scotch Plains, very similar story here. You could see active listings in June was at 73, which is, of course, way down versus 2021 and pretty much flat to most of 2022. So Scotch Plains, very similar story to Westfield. When it comes to average sales price, again, lagging indicator. We don't spend much time there, but you can see, yes, appreciation has occurred in June versus, other months, especially 2021. Now, again, under contract to active listings ratio, that's the important one here, because it shows that we did have a dip, significant dip from May to June, from 51% to 42%. Now, is 42 going to be a blip, or are we on a de-acceleration of the market and this ratio continues to shrink and we build inventory? We don't yet know, but that's what's great about this, is we're going to see what happens in July. Are we on the trajectory to change this from a super aggressive seller's market to a more balanced, or are we going to snap back into place? So another update coming in July, guys. Talk to you soon.